This week, this Shabbos is Parshas Behalosecha. And in Parsha's Behalosecha, we have an incredible story that relates to the concepts that we're talking about, the initiative that each one of us can take to change the course of history and to change the revelation of godliness. And the story relates in the Torah, it relates to the following. But what happened was that the Jewish people were commanded to keep the Passover and to bring a Passover offering in the desert. And there were people who were unavailable for that because they were occupied and busy with occupations that prevented them from bringing the Korban Pesach, the Pesach offering, Passover offering. So they were very, very, they felt the lack of godly revelation. And they came to Moses and said, hey, we don't want to be left out at all. We don't want to have this missed opportunity. So like we're learning in the Mimer, they were feeling the lack of the revelation. They were feeling the lack of revelation, the lack of connection that came about because they were excluded from this service of God because of their the state of purity they were in, and this person could have been too far away, wasn't able to make it, and so forth. So God answers Moses and says to him, we are going to create just for these people, and just because they asked, we're going to create a second Passover, a remarkable thing. So remarkable that this second Passover, called Pesach Sheni, Sheni is for second in Hebrew, the Passover is able to accomplish what they missed in the first Passover in a fraction of the time and without no need to get rid of the chometz, no need to get rid of the leavened bread, and this incredible elevation. It's almost like, even in a certain way, in a higher level than the first Passover, because they're able to do it in the midst of all this. They don't have to go through the rigorous cleaning in order to be able to reach this level. They're just able to walk straight into this and have this experience, because it's something that was demanded by the person. It was demanded by the person. They demanded, I want this connection to God. Whereas Passover was a command from God saying, hey, this is what you need to do, and you need to experience this, and God Almighty is going to reveal himself to us, and you better get ready because this is happening and it's coming from above. The second Passover, Pesach Sheni, was one where the people demanded it. And because they demanded it now is even on a higher level in that aspect. And we learn from that not only the power of exactly what we're talking about, that when we feel the distance and we demand from God Almighty, please, we want to be closer. Please, in your mercy, in your Rahmanas, allow us to be closer. Allow us to bring this to completion so that we have a complete relationship that's not only for us, but the entire world. That's we see the power of that, and we have to be conscious of the power. You see, this is I think just such an important point to mention. We could say, listen, we know everything's in God's hands. God's running the world. Every detail is exactly the way he wants it to be. And he wants it like this right now. Okay, what am I going to say? I have a different plan. I'm going to say it should be different. I should put in requests to change the weather, to change the way things are, to end this, to start this. 1 second. God Almighty is saying to us through the lesson of Pesach Sheni, you have a responsibility. When you see that you're missing out, and when you see that other people are missing out, you have a responsibility to come and say, God Almighty, we want things to be different. So that's the purpose of prayer. That's the purpose of coming, making the request. That's the purpose of being conscious of our feeling of the separation and the lack, and then that opposite feeling coming of creating the closeness. And the other point to recognize is that even if we miss the first opportunity for something, there's always a second chance. Nothing is ever no opportunity is ever lost. It may come in a different form, just like the second Passover, Pesach Sheni, is in a different form than the first one. It doesn't have a lot of the, so to speak, accoutrements of the first one. It doesn't have the getting rid of the leavened bread, and doesn't have a lot of the different aspects, but it has the core point, and it comes in a different form, and in some ways a higher form. So it's a lesson for each of our lives that we have to realize that nothing is ever lost, And we can apply this on a communal level also. Sometimes we think to ourselves, if only we had started this 20 years ago, we would have avoided this whole situation. Well, it's possibly true, and we could take that to heart. But the answer is now we're ready to engage. Now we're ready to do our part, and we will, with greater ability, with faster ability, with greater divine revelation, be able to accomplish today with our prayers and with our thought, speech, and action. We're able to accomplish a millionfold within 1 minute what then would have taken us many times longer. And the power, the ability that we can accomplish now, because we don't let ourselves get distracted by what didn't happen and should have happened and is now too late. That's real distraction. But in reality, okay, what was, but now I'm engaged, and now I'm going to do it, and I'm putting myself right in front of God Almighty. I'm saying I'm doing this now, and I'm not stopping until it's complete. And God, I need you to bring it to completion, because only God can complete it. That is what we can learn from this second Passover, Pesach Sheni. Rabbi Cherik, any points you want to add?
Yeah, it's really amazing, and it's Pesach Sheni, and also there's also right at the beginning of the parsha, it's the candles light. So it's about making the Aaron HaKohen would light the candelabra. So these two, obviously, all these things are connected, because by doing that, we also become shining candles of divinity. Yeah.
Amen. Yes, absolutely. Okay, thank you, Rabbi Cherik. Thank you to everybody, and we will reconvene next week. God bless everyone, and have a good Shabbos.